All right, so welcome to the call. We've got BoxDrop dealers on the call, and I'm just going to kind of go through exactly what no credit needed financing is and then show everybody exactly how to actually submit an application. There's a few different ways that you can do that. So I'm going to kind of dive right into this. Okay, so you'll see here that there's a ton of Americans that don't even have $1,000 in the bank to cover necessary purchases, and this is why we love mattresses, is because everybody needs one. But overall, there's 129 million Americans that just can't qualify for credit. They either have a bad credit or zero credit. Maybe just life has happened, bankruptcy, could be divorced, all different types of things that take place. And ACIMA, we don't pull the customer's credit. We don't look at Experian. We don't look at TransUnion. We don't look at Equifax. So we don't look at the big three credit bureaus. Rather, the customer is actually qualified based on them saying they are who they say they are. So as long as we can verify their identity, and as long as they've got a checking account that's open and active for at least 90 days, and mind you that we will also accept savings accounts as long as that account can be ACHable, meaning that we can electronically withdraw a payment from that account. So as long as either a good checking account or savings account has been in good standing for at least 90 days and it's ACHable, then we are good to go. That's your customer. The source of income has to be at least $1,000 a month. So the only sources of income that we don't allow is child support and also short-term disability. Everything else is free game. Anything from long-term disability, Social Security, retirement, self-employment, all those things we'll accept. As a BoxDrop dealer, you're going to attract a lot of consumers that have bad credit or no credit. And there's also a great time when you can talk to somebody that's got good credit, because you can also use that as well. So anytime that we have somebody that doesn't want their credit pulled for whatever reason, this is also a good option for them. They might be purchasing a house or whatnot. On the flip side of that, we will report the customer's payments to Experian. And this is whether they pay well or bad or poorly, we're still going to report those payments. So if we can help the customer kind of get out of the box and try to help them rebuild their credit, that's what we want to do. Okay. Now the program itself is a 12-month agreement. Every program is 12 months. Every agreement that the customer signs is a 12-month agreement. If they go the full 12 months, the customer is going to pay double for their merchandise. Okay. There's no ifs and buts about it. But please know that less than 20% of our customers go the full 12 months because nobody wants to pay double. Rather, we have probably close to 45, pushing 50% of our consumers that pay us off within 90 days. Any one of our competitors, it's less than 20%, because here's the truth. Not any no credit needed company will make any money unless the consumer goes over that threshold of 90 days. And we find that it's our fiduciary responsibility not only to report the credit and help them get out of this box, but it's also our responsibility to make sure that the customer knows what all their options are. With that said, we send them a reminder that their 90-day payment option is coming due. We're the only company that does that because it's the right thing to do. Now, once they pay off with us, whether it's within 90 days or 6 months or they go the full year, we will reissue them a new approval. We'll typically give them a little bit higher amount. We'll remarket them back to your store for 45 days to see if they can purchase another bed for maybe another family member or whatnot. Now, if they don't purchase anything for 45 days and we've remarketed back to them via email and text and all those different types of things, then we will tell them about the tire store that's down the street that also uses ACIMA. Now, we do that same thing, that remarketing, with the tire store down the street. And so we'll remarket back to that tire store for 45 days. If the customer doesn't want to purchase another set of tires, now we'll tell them about the BoxDrop dealer that's up the street. We've got the largest footprint out of any one of our competitors. So we've got about 15,000 locations that do business with us across 46, 47 states. So chances are you're going to receive customers that come from different verticals that we're in, whether it's mattress. Mattress will always go to you, but whether it's furniture or wheels and tires or appliance, we do car audio, we do jewelry, we do lawn mowers, we do all that stuff. Chances are you're going to see some customers that come from that. as a new dealer, we're going to hook you up with some point of sales materials. This is just the shout out materials that talk about no credit needed. If you're not mentioning it, then you're not going to attract that consumer. Okay. So this is to tell the customer that you have an option where you don't care about what their credit looks like. And the only way that those customers are going to knock on your door is by whoever screams it the loudest, basically. All these materials are free at cost, and we'll send them out to you and make sure that you get them. It comes in a big blue box, and everything's ready to go for you. So this is part of the Marketing by ACIMA campaign. So you'll see that just since we started this, just within the last couple of years, we have generated about $22 million in revenue that's been paid to ACIMA merchants, meaning that these are remarketing efforts. We've done some direct mail efforts, Facebook remarketing. This is also from approval reminders. So you might have somebody that filled out an application, they were approved, but they never acted on it. They never purchased anything from you. We'll continue to remind those consumers that they've got an approval there and to come back into your store. We also have a directory on our website. So if you go to acimacredit.com, the customer can click on Find a Merchant, put their zip code in, and find you that way as well. One of the things that we added a little while ago was called text to apply. So this is great for like your Craigslist ads that you might put on there. This is better than putting on Facebook. Facebook, you want to put a link or simply just try to get them into your store where you have a little bit more control over the situation. But the text to apply is great for Craigslist because Craigslist doesn't like those links. And then the bit.ly or short link that we provide you, that's great for Facebook and even to kind of keep on your phone you can send out. So when you log into your portal, this is your dashboard. And these three boxes right here kind of quickly tell you where you're at in the transaction. A good rule of thumb is to just say if there's any numbers in any one of these boxes, with the exception of this completed awaiting funding, it just tells me that I've got work to be done. So in other words, right here, create invoice. I've got 3 create invoices. This means that I've got 3 approvals that all I need to do is tell ACIMA on their electronic invoice what the customer's purchasing, and then from there it'll kind of go into this kind of waterfall, create the agreement. I'm going to collect the payment from them and so forth. So if I stop right here at the approval, it'll just sit in that bucket. If I maybe created the invoice but I haven't had the customer do the lease, it'll sit there in this bucket, create lease. We're working on an update on this so it's even more clear, and that should be coming out in just a few weeks, but it's going to be awesome. Up at the top here, you have your lease support. So this is for when you are working with a particular customer that you need a little bit of assistance. You can always reach out to our lease support. You can either do that via phone, email, or down here at the chat with ACIMA button. So if you see this little box down here, chat with ACIMA, when you click on that, a box will appear, and we have a full team that's all they do is just chat with merchants all day. They will know what customer that you're referring to or whatnot. They'll know the merchant that's actually contacting them. It's a great feature. You could even just say, hey, please call me ASAP, and you'll get a phone call. So use that. We also have what's called a payment calculator. So if the customer is wondering what their payment's going to be, you can type that in there. You choose their payment frequency. This is all based on how often they're paid on their job. So if they get paid weekly, you're going to choose a weekly payment, every other week and so forth, monthly. So I'm going to choose weekly, and it shows me $28.47 plus tax. Okay. As far as having the customer apply, you can do that one of a few different ways. They can either click on a link from Facebook or from a website if you've got it. They can either do the text to apply that I showed earlier from, let's say, Craigslist, or you can actually, if you're talking to them on the phone and they want to apply and find out if they're going to be qualified or not, you can actually just type in their phone number right here. That'll highlight the send link, and you can just send the application link that's specific to you and your location. So once they fill it out and click submit, then they will be notified of whether they're approved or not. But you will also receive an email, and it'll also show up in your pipeline. Your pipeline is this right here. So the easiest thing to do here on the pipeline, I've got all these different options what I can do, but the best thing is just to go to all. And when I look at my pipeline, the most recent transaction will always come to the top. I can do some quick little triggers here on the right, but the best thing to do, and just to kind of be in habit of, is just to click on the lease agreement and go into it. And now you kind of have a full picture of the entire deal. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. So if you do have a customer that comes in and you want to have a little bit more control and take their application face to face, you can do that. Keep in mind that maybe 80% of our applications are filled out on a smartphone or some kind of mobile device or via email on the web. You do have the option to click on the start button right here. This application will come up. You can see that it's pretty dang short. I'm going to autofill this just for an example. Simple information, contact information for the consumer. We want a phone number. A couple of phone numbers is required. This alternate phone number can be a landline or even a friend or family. We do require an email address, so don't put in there no email at gmail.com. We want a good email address there because we do communicate and remarket to the consumer that way. Every agreement is done via text. We send them an email with the agreement. We also send them a hard copy in the mail as well. Identification for the consumer will accept a social security number and also an ITIN number. ITIN is what's called an individual tax identification number. So you might have somebody that just has this. They don't have a social security number. They might be from another country but working in the U.S. We'll accept those. So they can fill that identification number in here, date of birth, driver's license. We will accept other forms of ID as well, as long as it is government issued. So this could be a passport. It could also be even a resident alien card, like a permanent resident alien card in here. But typically, you're going to put a driver's license in here. You want to make sure all this information is accurate so that you don't fat finger and get a denial. Routing bank number. So as long as the routing number is correct, the bank name will appear. So the customer does require they need to know what their routing number and their bank account number is. And lastly, their applicant source of income. You'll notice here that we've shortened this application over the years. We don't even ask anymore for the customer's employer name or phone number or address or anything like that. So we've been able to shorten this quite a bit. So as long as the customer chooses their income here, you can see that it shows everything that you have to choose from and how they're paid and then how often they're paid. I have read and agreed to ACIMA's application terms. Just click on that and click submit. And this will think for just a few minutes. A few minutes, when I say minutes, I'm actually referring to seconds. So it'll think for just a little bit and tell you whether your application is approved or denied. Please note that if it's denied, there's typically a very, very good reason why it was denied. Most reasons are either excessive overdrafts or NSFs on the account that they've submitted. We've had denials where maybe the checking account not even associated with the consumer. We've had denials where the customer has committed fraud. And we'll also have customers that may apply and put down like a deceased person, like a grandfather's social security number as their own. So we'll catch all that kind of stuff. But just know that if you get a denial, it's denied. We typically will give a very general denial reason, such as bank account history or something along those lines, because we don't want to embarrass the customer by any means at all. Okay. So once you get an approval, all you do is go shopping with the customer. Have them pick out the bed that they want. This is a great way to upsell to as well. And I'm going to have somebody on the phone here shortly where they're going to kind of explain how they do this. So the customers they're looking to purchase, and if you can get them into a better bed that's going to last them a lot longer with a warranty and everything else, that's ideally what you want to do. But keep in mind that if they can purchase a bed, the full price of it for what they really, really want, and they can put it on a credit card or pay cash or borrow money from grandma, that's better than even our no credit needed program. Okay, this is there just to either save the sale, or if they're very confident that they can pay off within 90 days, then that's a great way as well. Okay, so once you've gone shopping with a consumer, you can just click on the merchandise condition. So we've got new and used and damaged here, but we do like consignment furniture and things like that. That's why you see that used. We really don't want you to sell a used bed. Expected delivery date, I'm just going to go ahead and choose today. And what's great about ACIMA is that you don't have to itemize the cost of the merchandise. So if they purchase one king bed set and then one queen bed set, you can just separate everything by comma. You don't have to type in delivery fees or anything like that in here. We just want to know what the description of the merchandise that they're purchasing. These items are going to be transferred over to the agreement that the customer is going to sign. So let's say the customer's total cost is $1,800. One thing that you're going to want to know is if you are either in a tax on rent state or a tax on purchase state. For example, we have somebody on the call that has their location in Illinois. Illinois is considered what's called a tax on rent state. What that means is that the customer is going to just pay tax on each payment that they pay to ACIMA. You do not have to charge the consumer any tax on that transaction. Matter of fact, you are null and void from even having to collect tax from them and remit tax to the state or city. Okay, so if you're not sure if you're in a tax on rent or tax on purchase state, then give us a phone call and we'll tell you. But typically your account's going to be set up the way that it's there. A good way to kind of show that is that this initial payment right here, you can see it says initial payment $50. If I was on a tax and rent state, that would say the $50 plus tax. Okay, so if you're on a tax on rent state, charge no tax. If you're in a tax on purchase state, you're going to ring that customer up just like you normally would, as if it was a cash sale. Okay. If I wanted to look at my lease details, I can click on lease details button right here. It'll tell me the entire description of the entire transaction, all the way from the 90-day payment option, all the way to the full agreement. So, like for example, if I put in here $1,000. You can see here that it's a little bit more than double that the customer is going to pay if they go the full 12 months. Okay, but again, less than 20% of our customers go that full term. If they go over the 90 days, they're going to get that discount, and it's going to be anywhere from 25% to 55% off the balance, which is awesome. So if everything looks right here, I'm just going to click Save Invoice. And all I'm going to do now is have the customer sign, collect payment, and then click Delivery. So the customer's got a couple of different ways that they can sign the agreement. You can download it here if you'd like, if they want to have a wet signature. But the easiest way is just to send this text message. This goes right to their phone. They also get an email with this as well. And the customer right now has a couple of different options to sign the agreement. They can either scroll down the agreement on their phone or mobile device or computer and look at a 4-digit code at the bottom of the agreement, or it will give them an option just to e-sign it themselves. So whichever comes first, whether they give you the code that you're going to see here or just e-sign it, is going to apply to the customer's signature and finish the deal. If they give you the 4-digit code, all you have to do as a merchant is type in this name, type in the code. If it's correct, it's going to highlight I accept. I click that. Copy of that agreement is now going to get sent to the customer's email, and they're also going to receive a text on their phone with a breakdown of everything that they just signed. And then here you're going to collect the payment from the consumer. So you have a couple of different ways to do this. As a BoxDrop dealer, every dealer is getting a 2% rebate on everything that they do. Please keep that in mind. So anything that you do month to month, you're getting 2% cash back. Next year, 2019, Scott Andrews, owner of Retail Service Systems, BoxDrop, has negotiated with us to make that 2.5%. So that's awesome. So when you collect payment from the consumer, you want to make sure that you're collecting the card, a debit credit card from the consumer that's typically associated with a checking account that they put on the deal. I don't know anybody that doesn't go shopping without a debit credit card. I'm stating this because you don't want to put your card number in here. We've had merchants do that just to collect the payment. You don't want to do that because by clicking this box, which is required, you're also authorizing ACIMA to use this on scheduled payments in the future should their checking account for the consumer fail a payment. We're using this as a backup. Okay, so if the customer doesn't have the money on their account, they don't have their card with them, or they don't want to give it to you, but they just want to pay you cash, you can do that by just putting customer pay as merchant. If you choose this option, our default goes up, okay, when you collect cash from the consumer. So to kind of offset some of that default, we do charge a 2% merchant fee on that transaction. So on $1,000, we're going to charge you $20, okay? we're going to tell you to keep the initial payment that you collected from the consumer. So after everything's said and done, we just fund you the difference, and you should just be out that 2%, or on $1,000, it's going to be $20. Okay, you're not going to send us any money. We're not going to take money out of your account either. So you can also look at the funding breakdown right here. So this is based on $1,000. You can see my additional merchant fee is $20. Merchant fee overall is zero. So as long as I'm collecting $50 from the consumer, my flat base merchant fee is 0%. You have an option of either collecting $50 from the consumer or $40. Our $40 program is you getting charged a 1% fee. Okay, 90+% of BoxDrop dealers that are using our program are charging the customer $50. We are coming out with some other programs here soon that will even be as little as $0 down. Okay, that's going to be huge. Now, with that, there will be an additional merchant fee to do that. You don't have to give the $0 down, but on better qualified customers, you'll have the option to be able to offer them $0 down, but you'll also be able to offer and market as $0 down as well. So not everybody's going to qualify for that, but what's cool about it is that as a entrepreneur and a BoxDrop dealer with RSS, you'll be able to advertise $0 down, and that is huge when it comes to marketing to with your competitors. Mattress firm's not going to offer $0 down. I'll put it that way. So if that looks right, I'm going to go ahead and confirm payment. Now I'm going to confirm delivery. Is there anything undelivered? You're going to say no. Is there anything damaged? You're going to say no. You have to have both of these marked no in order for this to apply. If I mark yes, it's going to give me like there's undelivered items here. We want everything delivered. We don't want anything damaged when you confirm delivery. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click confirm. As long as all my boxes here or check marks are filled solid blue, you're good to go. Congratulations, this has been completed. Delivery has been confirmed. Funding is in process, and you're good to go. Now, as a new dealer, there's going to be 6 or 7 of your first deals. We are going to confirm delivery with your consumer. So make sure that you get your customer on the phone when things are delivered. This is just kind of a dating process. You don't know us. We don't know you. We want to make sure that you know what you're doing. And so once you've had 6 or 7 customers that have funded with us, then and they've made their first payments, then we'll go ahead and take that phone call away. So once you confirm delivery, it just automatically gets funded. But for those first 6 or 7 deals, keep in mind that we're going to try to get a hold of your customer just to confirm delivery and make sure that they're happy. We want to make sure that everything's good and that you're trained properly and get all the attention that you need. So other than that, this is it. I wanted to show you really quickly. I'm going to share one other screen here with you. So this is the new look of what your customer will see when they click on either the short link or when you send them the application from Portal, or if they do the text to apply. You're just going to see that blue application if you do it right from Portal, if you're taking the application in the store. But if the customer clicks on any one of those links or text to apply, or you send them the application, when they click on that link, this is what they see. I think it's huge to let consumers know that you're family owned and operated. I think that's awesome. I think it's also awesome to be able to put on there the 60 to 80% off retail. Customers will respond and apply more so seeing your logo on there versus ACIMA's. They don't know us, they know you. With that said, I want to kind of bring Kendall on from San Antonio. So Kendall, if you can take just a few minutes and maybe share with the group as far as like what you do when you do an ACIMA deal and how you kind of maybe explain who ACIMA is, or maybe how you bring up the financing option and when you do that and how it's helped you in your business.
ACIMA has been a great partner for me for over a year with BoxDrop now. And probably the number one way I utilize it is explaining it just as that, is that we have a very simple, no credit needed payment option or payment program. I intentionally don't refer to it as financing because that word scares people. But it's a no credit needed 90-day payment program. And I've intentionally presented it as a 90-day payment option because we're here to save people money on mattresses. And although I know Sean and ACIMA make money on the more money on the people that go 12 months, we're here to present it, as a 90-day payment program and allow people to get in and get out in a quick manner. So, kind of going through the process, through the steps. When a customer comes in inquiring about the $150 bed, a lot of times when they come in, I will put them on an upper level bed and say, let's find out what your quality, comfort, and feel is, and what type of bed you're looking for. And so I'd put them on the Sapphire or some mid-range mattress. The reason I do this is because what I've found is that, to use a different analogy, if people have eaten bologna and Spam all their life, they think bologna and Spam is great meat until they've been introduced to sirloin or filet mignon or, great types of meat. When we put them on a better bed, they may honestly have never felt what a better bed feels like. So that if you put them on that 150 bed, yep, that feels like what I've always slept on, I'll take that. By putting them on something much, much better, then they experience the feel of that better bed. Obviously, the next thing that happens is okay, how much is that bed? Well, that one's X amount. Oh, I was looking for the $150 bed. Okay, well, I have those as well. But keep in mind that, we also have a great partner program that's a no credit needed 90-day same as cash payment option that's available. It's a very simple program. As long as you have a checking account and make at least $1,000 a month in income, then you're out the door for $50 plus tax with that bed, and you've got 90 days same as cash to pay it off. So how do you get paid? You get paid every 2 weeks? Yeah, okay. Well, then basically you're looking at 6 payments of X amount, $100 a pay period, $150 a pay period, whatever the amount of the bed is they're looking at. And it just gets them to thinking about that bed. Instead of it being a $900 bed, it is simply 6 payments of $150, and then they're done. And so it puts it in more bite-sized pieces for them. That makes it not quite as scary as a $900 bed. But on the flip side of what it does, the other thing I do is that if somebody comes in and says, well, I only have $300 in hand right now, so I'm going to have to buy that $300 bed, even though I don't really like it. I like that $600 bed, but I only have $300 in hand. So then what I say is, okay, well, you know what? Why don't we've got this very easy, no credit needed, 90-day same as cash payment program available. As long as you've got a checking account and make at least $1,000 a month in income, they approve most people for the payment program. So let's do this. Let's just see if they'll approve you, how much they'll approve you for, and it allows you to move into a much better quality bed that is going to be a much better night's sleep for you. So then what that does is 2 things. Number one, now they're, okay, well, let's try that. Now they're going to apply for ACIMA. Now they walked in thinking, okay, I can only get a $200 or $300 bed. And congratulations, you got approved for $900 with ACIMA. So now what do? Now they're not looking at the $600. They're going, oh, wait a minute, I got approved for $900. So now, if their budget allows, they may be walking out with a $900 bed instead of walking out with a $200 or $300 bed, simply because you walk them through the process of filling out the short form for them to approve them for ACIMA. So it's been huge, being able to take that $150 or $200 or $300 sale and move it to a $600 or a $900 or a $1,200 sale, simply because of getting them approved through ACIMA. My ticket numbers are probably double what they should be. My gross margins are probably double what they should be, or gross profit are double what they normally are, just because of utilizing ACIMA. When you sit down and compare 1 month versus another month, and okay, how did I do so much better this month? Go look at your ACIMAs. If you focus on doubling the number of applications that you take with ACIMA, if you'll watch, your gross profit and your ticket price will double as well, just because it again takes them from that $200 or $300 purchase to a $600 or $900 purchase. And if you got if you got any questions, I mean, again, I'm very I describe ACIMA as a great partner of ours. I tell them that probably 75% of my clients utilize this simple payment program to get into a much better bed. I reiterate that it's a no credit needed 90-day payment program. So all those things just set the customer at ease. I'm not using, we have a finance company that has to approve you. I just say it's a very simple program. As long as you got a checking account and make $1,000 a month in income, then they will approve the majority of people for the payment program. And so it's not, it's a very casual, laid back way of presenting the program, and sets customers at ease to where they're comfortable. And I just tell them, you've got nothing to lose, no credit needed. So, let's try it. All they can do is say no, but best thing that could happen is they come back and approve you for a much better bid.
Let me ask you this. I mean, out of 10, how many times do you think you will propose the 90-day payment option or payment option rather to a customer? How many times out of 10 will they fill out an application, do you think?
I bring it up to everybody. Even someone that says, well, I've got $1,000 cash. Okay, well, you know what? Why don't you try this program? Because why pull all the money out of your savings? Why not, pay it off in 6 easy installments? And now you've got that other money sitting back for rainy day or for whatever. So I bring it up to everybody, regardless of what the situation is. And if they say no, okay, fine. Then you know what? I'd rather go ahead and pay cash. That's fine. I'll take cash too, of course. But the thing it does too is that I always, even that customer that's going to pay cash for $800 bed, because they might get approved for $2,400, and now all of a sudden they're looking at a $2,000 bed. So I bring it up to everybody. I would say, as far as how many fill out an application, probably 6 to 7 out of the 10.
That's awesome. So, and let me kind of reiterate one thing, Kendall, is that we're purchasing the bed from the location, from the store, and the customer doesn't own that merchandise until they fulfill their agreement with us. If the customer wants to put some money down, the minimum payment that they're going to pay at your location is going to be the $50, $40 or $50, whatever program that you're on that, and plus applicable taxes. If they want to put additional money down, then they would have, once we've got their account set up in our system, they can wait a few days. They can call us and put that additional money down, and we'll collect it from them. From the point of sale, we cannot do that. So if they want to put additional money down, have them, all you simply have to do is just say, hey, look, it looks like the minimum payment that you guys are going to put down today with ACIMA is going to be $50 plus tax or whatever it is. If you guys want to put additional down and have this paid off within 90 days sooner than later, then all you have to do is either call ACIMA, or you can actually access your account online at acimacredit.com and make additional payment that way. The consumer can make additional payments however they want, but when the agreement's set up this way, we have to take the minimum payment. We'll fund you 100% of it. If they want to make additional down payment, they have to do that either by give us a phone call or pay that online on their account. And then, of course, anything that they pay within that 90 days is all going towards the traditional invoice. So anyway, with that said, I've spoken long enough. Kendall, thanks so much for getting on the phone and spend a little bit of time. And I think it's great for new dealers to kind of hear how somebody that's been doing this for a little while, how they talk to the customer and how they explain the program. So that said, I am done. If you need additional training or help or anything like that, typically you're going to have my contact information. You're going to have this corporate sales support number up here as well. And thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you. I usually attend all the different trainings that BoxDrop has, so you'll probably eventually see me sooner than later when we'll meet in person. But thank you so much, and I'm going to go ahead and end this call. Thank you. Bye-bye.